welcome to the Formula SimRacing Trustmaster World Championship highlights. I am Martin Stefanko and today's round 2 at the Bahrain International Circuit for the first race of the season after round 1 was postponed. Looking at the track information, Bahrain is a 5.4 km circuit, giving us a 57 lap race today in very unusual conditions. Yes, that's right, it is raining in Bahrain. Drivers will be on full wet tires after qualifying on the intermediate tires. With a 25% chance of rain in the race, we could expect some more rain, but we will have to wait and see to find out. On pole position for the first race of the season is Michele D'Alessandro alongside Martin Stefanko on row 1. Row 2 sees Jernej Simončić and Daniel Kiss. Jim Paresis, the winner of our last red race in Spa last year, starts from 5th with Kamil Leisva in 6th. George Manusakis lines up alongside Dan Brewer for 7th and 8th. And Giordano Valeriano and Risto Capit round out the top 10. In the second half we have Patel, Disley, Saxon, Francesconi, Rosol, Sadler, Brugman, Mesculi and Hoyer with Christopher Raby starting from the pit lane. With a new car and 2 new teams, this season is certainly going to be entertaining, and with the rain and a mixed up grid, we are going to see a cracker of a race today. As the lights go out, it was a relatively clean start. Some end plates went missing in turn 1, but nothing major as Martin Stefanko takes the lead at turn 1, followed by Simončić. Patel was out of position in qualifying and was having to make some good overtakes, this one on Kamil Leisva in lap 2. Just behind them, John-Eric Saxon spins, losing a few positions. Lap 6 and the track was drying rapidly with no falling rain. Patel gets a bit too close to Risto Capit and loses a part of his front wing. With the track drying, Martin Stefanko was the first to pit and surrenders his lead to the cars behind, taking the intermediate tires, followed by Paresis. Braking seems tricky into turn 4 as D'Alessandro runs into the back of Simončić, pushing both wide and losing a part of front wing. Lap 11 sees the leaders continue again on the wets before Jernej runs wide, allowing Michele to get through. Manusakis was the first on slick tires. This didn't work out for him though, as he had a spin going onto the wet line. Whilst rejoining, Saxon couldn't avoid him, ending both of their races. Patel pits for the option tires, making the undercut work. Patel is going purple every sector and overtakes Sadler around the outside of turn 12. He then caught up to Capit and almost spun trying to overtake him. In the background you can see D'Alessandro doing the same whilst Mesculi gets Patel. Patel then overtook Mesculi, who was on the intermediate, but as he got past, Eros made a mistake, allowing D'Alessandro and Brugman through. Patel was now back onto Capit's rear end, but he runs wide in turn 12 onto the wet tarmac, filling in behind Michele and Lars. Risto then makes the choice to pit for option tires, whilst Patel challenges Brugman into turn 1, taking the position. Patel then gets the run on D'Alessandro out of turn 10, but as he passes and as he arrives at turn 11, the heavens opened. The rain was coming down heavily and by the end of the lap they had to pit, as the track was fully wet in a matter of seconds. But D'Alessandro and Brugman decide to stay out, they are the only ones to do so. Patel takes the wet, but Martin Stefanko seems to have an issue. His engine is off and he is stuck. His teammate Michi Hoyer has to push him out of the way to get into the team's pit box. Stefanko stalled his engine going into the pit box. One lap later we see race leader Paresis pit as Stefanko retires from the race. He is followed by D'Alessandro and Brugman. Lap 22 and Paresis leads from Patel, Simončić, D'Alessandro, Brugman and Brewer. All the way to lap 36, and after some battling, Simončić makes a mistake and Brugman slides past with Michele not quite close enough to follow through as well. But 2 laps later he could after Jernej made yet another mistake and Michele outdragged him down the back straight. With the rain stop, Eros Mesculi was the first to pit again, this time for intermediates followed by Kiss. However, Paresis pits from the lead take another set of wet tires. With these drivers fueling to the end, it will certainly be tough to say if the track won't dry out. Eros' first target was Kamil Leisvav, who ended backwards after some contact. He continues losing a few seconds. Lap 42, Brookman and Patel are next to pit, both taking fuel and intermediates to the end. Patel, having caught up Paris's a lot last stint, is only a few seconds back on the more favorable rubber, with fuel to the finish. On lap 45, Patel was all over the back of Paris's and is looking like he can take the lead, which happened down into turn 1 on lap 46. Paris's is struggling with 11 laps still to do on these wet tires on a drying track. Here we can see Brookman and D'Alessandro chasing down Paris's for the podium spot, also on the intermediate tires. It took until lap 49 for Brookman to catch the Greek driver, and after following for a few corners makes a dive for the apex at turn 8, overtaking Jim after a minor bump. Paris's was going very slowly, so D'Alessandro caught him in lap 53, and going into 54 takes the final podium spot into turn 1. Unfortunately for Eros Mesculi, he suffered an electrical fault, missing out on a decent points haul. But today was all about strategy, and the man to perfect it was Mohamed Patel, always on the correct tire and making overtakes when he needed to. He takes the 25 points home with a dominant performance, winning by 11 seconds. Second was Lars Brookman in his first race, followed by D'Alessandro on the podium. Fourth was Paris's, who was left to rue his decision to go to full wets. Fifth, Jurnej Semencic. Sixth, Daniel Kiss. Risto Capit in 7th on his debut, and Michi Hoyer was the last runner on the lead lap. Michael Francesconi and James Sadler take the final points. Then Brewer was caught out by the changeable conditions before retiring. Despite the challenging conditions, 13 cars saw the checkered flag. Today was all about Mohamed Patel starting from 11th and working his way through the field. He puts Musto at the top of the Constructors 2, ahead of Vodbull and Twister. What an eventful race that was. Rain in Bahrain and a mixed up grid. What did we expect? Next time out we visit Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix on the 2nd of April. For more races like this, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a race, and if you want to be a part of the racing, check out the links below to sign up and drive yourself. I hope you have enjoyed these highlights, and a special thanks to Cameron Rodger and Matt Tuson for producing them. I have been Martin Stefanko, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.